am Lamont White, the gay dating coach. Welcome to a new podcast series that I am working on. So, I know a lot of you all know I do Shoot Your Shot Wednesday, where it's like a dating show. People come on to get interviewed, to, get on dates. That's fun on Wednesday. But, I'm trying something a little different. I want to do this show called Dating Dilemmas, right? And I know we all go through different dating situations, problems, struggles, successes. Dating is a whole journey. But I'm going to do a series called Dating Dilemmas that has three different aspects. One is I love reality TV shows, right? I was on Bravo's Love Match Atlanta. It was a whole hoot. But there are a number of different dating shows that are reality TV based. And I want to give some commentary, my feedback on some of those. So you'll see some episodes coming up in the future where I'm looking at different couples who are on reality TV shows who went on dates, and I'll give my input, right? Look for that. The second aspect of the Dating Dilemma show that I'm doing is, have you ever gone on a first date and then you never heard back from the guy or the girl? Yeah, I want to hear all about your first dates, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? So if you went on a first date and you never heard back from the person, I definitely want you to DM me and say, hey, Lamont, I want to give you an update. I want to let you know about my last date I went on. And can you give me some feedback, some input on it, right? Just to support you. So definitely, I'll make sure you get the contact information so you can follow up with me. So that's the second aspect. But also, I definitely want to interview like some really cool people who have different dating stories and journeys. So you'll have some guests that will come on and really talk about some of the uniqueness of their dating lives, right? So Dating Dilemmas has three aspects: looking at reality TV I can't even talk. Looking at reality TV shows, right? Also, I want to hear about your first date. And then if you have a unique story about like dating, I want to hear about it. We will see how long this series lasts, right? If you like, share, and comment on all this type of stuff that I share, then I'll keep doing it. If not, I'm going to nix it like I did one of my other shows, right? Okay, listen. So let's get into it. I do have an amazing guest today. His name is Jacoby, and he's going to come on and tell us a little bit about who he is. He's going to share also about his first date and tell us how it went, and we'll get some feedback. All right. Again, make sure you all are liking, sharing, and commenting just to make sure we get some traction on this video. All right, let's welcome Jacoby to the stage. Let's see. I'll bring him on.
Hey,
Hey, Jacoby, how you doing?
I am good, and it says my mic is muted.
I know I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. So I
All
had
right,
muted you when you were backstage, and when you came on, I just unmuted you.
all right, sounds good. Let me move this up. Good.
I am the IT guy today, apparently.
Oh dear. Well, I have a few things on my desk you can handle for me. So,
No, 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 not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
uh,
So listen, thanks for being my first guest on Dating Dilemmas, right?
thank you. I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So look, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from. How do people get to know who you are? We want to know about who you are, Jacoby.
Well, I'm from here. I live in Norcross, but I'm from the west side of Atlanta, like the ghetto of Atlanta.
Okay, okay.
Um, and I do believe that I am the type of person where I'm just an amalgamation of a lot of things. I don't care to be put into one narrative of this gay community or this queer community that we live in.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess I call myself somewhat of a mystery. What I mean by that is in any given space that I'm in, it's a where does he go?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, that's it. That's how I identify myself, or that will be how I label myself as a mystery. Like, where do I go? Where do I belong? Where to someone else, where do I belong? I know where I am, but
Mhm.
or I know where I belong, but for someone else, it's puzzling for them.
Well, how does one get to know who you are if you're a mystery, Jacoby?
For me, it's a let's go out for drinks.
Mhm.
Let's go out to a bar, preferably not a gay bar. And the
Mhm.
reason why I say that is because I believe, or I think that at a gay bar, there are certain aspects of our community where you have to confide or align yourself with a certain narrative.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like me, I'd say I'm about 90% top, I'd say.
Mhm.
That's how I identify myself.
Mhm.
And in our community, there are just certain items that put you in that box of what a top is.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
And so with that, I prefer not to go to a gay bar because I don't want to feel those pressures.
Mhm.
So just a regular sports bar. There are two over here in Norcross that I love to hang out at, and people just for me, the fact that I'm into men is really an afterthought for them,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I'm just a nerd and a geek to them. That is,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, you're gay. I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
you just want you it sounds like you really just don't want all these weird expectations of who you have to be, and you just want them to focus on you. I think that's great. I'm a big, proponent of guys on a first date not going to a gay bar because you're going to bump into your old friends, your old dates. People are going to interrupt you. It's hard to focus just on the two of you if you go to a gay bar on your first date.
I agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. And it's
Yeah.
like, dare I say, it's like walking into a high school cafeteria.
Don't want to do that. Not in your first date. Not in your first date. Well, speaking of first date, tell me a little bit about this first date that you had with this gentleman. I want to know, how did you meet him? Where did you all go? Talk about the date. We want to get all into it, Jacoby. Let us know.
So I met him on Jack. We
Okay, and
actually
and
met,
people still meet on Jacked. I want you to know, people still meet on Jacked and go on dates. I think that's awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, because the internet it's the world of work has really like not allowed us to be out as much as we would like.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the internet is like the last stronghold, so to
Hmm.
speak. But we met on Jack. He messaged me. He actually messaged me, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so it was a Friday and I think this was our second or third conversation online. He wanted to come over, so he came to my house. We sat in this room that I'm in right now. Um, we
The
have
first date was at your house.
no, just the first meeting point was at my house.
Okay, I'm
So
listening.
he came over. We sat in my office. I'm wrapping up work, and
Mhm,
he wanted to come over earlier in the day,
mhm,
but me being, I guess, dare I say, considerate of people's time, for me, I was basically shutting down the week, meaning that I
mhm,
am cleaning up, I am doing laundry, I am making sure that my home is okay for the weekend.
mhm, mhm,
So I admitted to him, like, you can come over now, but you just be watching me move from my office to the kitchen to my bathroom, bedroom, etc.
mhm,
Um, and so here we moving into almost into the 3 p.m. hour. He that was when I said, okay, you can come over now.
mhm, mhm,
So around 2:30, he gave me an ETA of 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. That's enough time for me to run to the liquor store,
mhm,
grab a few bottles of wine, and come home. So 2:30 turned into almost 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I don't know what really happened with him that particular day, but by the time he got here, I was, I think, two glasses into Zinfandel.
Okay.
I
Okay.
offered him a glass of wine. We sat in my office while I shut my workspace down, and then we moved into my living room.
Mhm,
And so at the moment while we were in my living room, I just sat and listened to him,
mhm,
listened to him talk about, where he's from, what he does for work. Um, we didn't really sit and watch TV because, we were about to go out also, like leave my house and go out.
okay. Okay.
So, and also I was hungry.
And
Um,
to and 2 glasses of wine in, right?
By the time we left my house, I was 3 glasses in, and
Okay.
by the time he had his first, that was
Okay.
the whole bottle.
Okay.
So
Big glasses.
mm, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's not the big bottle. It's like this slender bottle that you can hold in one hand.
Okay.
Um, so we went to a bar in downtown Norcross for dinner.
Hmm.
Um, it's one of the places where I like to hang out. Especially for me, especially on a first date, I
Hmm.
like to take people places where I feel comfortable,
Hmm. Hmm.
so that there's not really much of a guard there. Meaning
Hmm.
that I'm talking to people who know me. I'm talking to people who are new to the joint, and there's no forced chemistry. So
Hmm.
I'm comfortable. I'm trying to make you comfortable because now you're entering my world. You're entering my space.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that was bar number one. So we had dinner there, and we left there and went to another bar. Again, somewhere I feel comfortable. And dare I say, my whole family was there. I call them my family because we've known each other for quite a while now.
Hmm.
So we ended our night there,
So
and
are these like people who work there or socialize at the second bar that you know very well?
both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
both.
Did they get a
Actually,
chance to meet him?
hmm?
Did they meet him?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes. So I mean, it was Friday, so everybody's out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So for both places, it was people who I know and who know me. They both work there and socialize there. So these are places again where I can be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So that with that on the table, again, this person is entering my world, and I'm trying to show you different an aspect of me that you really can't get online.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're not in a gay bar where we have to align ourselves with certain metrics or standards. We're just in a place where everyone is just whoever the hell they want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So that was that night, and after that, we came home, or we came back to my house. He spent the night. Uh, yeah, we had sex that night.
Okay. How was the sex, Jacoby?
It was good.
Mhm.
Now, granted, that was my second time having sex that year because I had like put my sex life on the shelf for my mental health. That is.
Okay.
But I found nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
So when he was supposed to come back to my house that same day, he left to go get a haircut, but he never came back. Um, and again, I think I gave him the week of Thanksgiving because going into the holiday, of course, everyone is off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
No one
Mm-hmm.
is really paying attention to who they're talking to at that moment, not even me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, to that effect, it was a okay, I will talk to you when you come back home.
Okay.
So he went home to Jacksonville. I called him that Tuesday after the holiday,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he answered. We had a brief conversation while I was on my way home,
Mm-hmm.
and we texted for about maybe 2 weeks. After that, I think the last time I spoke to him was December the 13th, but it really wasn't like a phone call. It was more of a text.
Okay.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, you're reminding me to hydrate myself.
Okay. So you all did like a text, and then like what was the text message about, Jacoby?
My Christmas decorations.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him a picture of the tree I had put up and the lights I had put up.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him a video of the lights I had put up also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we talked about going to a pizza restaurant over on Old Milton in Alpharetta.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a place where I don't know a soul. So I'm like, okay, we may be a little bit safe. There may not be people around to embarrass me or us.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Because you know how family is. They love being your business.
Right.
So at both bars, I call those people my family. Um, and so he was actually excited about it because I even sent him the link from Google to the place. He's like, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, okay, cool.
So you are planning a second date.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, pizza. I'm like, in that place is like pizza, liquor. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Right. Right. Right.
So And also, I wanted to try their lasagna. So that's just a side note with that. But it never came into fruition.
Did you all like say a specific time and location?
No. Well, the location, yes. A
Okay.
time, no, because for at least in my opinion, this person was just moving around to me just a little too much
Mm-hmm.
to where I can like have solely their attention solely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I mean by that is there was no question coming back to me and say, "Hey, when do you want to go?" Because again, I think you and I have had this conversation. I live out of my calendar, so I'm asking, "What is your schedule looking like next week?" That's how I,
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's how I approach it. What is your
Like give
schedule?
me your availability. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will even send people a screenshot of my week
Hmm.
from my calendar and say, "Hey, this is what's going on
Mm-hmm.
for the week for me."
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me what's a good day, and I'll essentially take care of the rest. Do I need to
Yeah.
come pick you up? Do what do you want to do, or what do you need? What do you need for me to do
Mm-hmm.
in this time frame right here? And that's really about it. But again, it never came into fruition. He was supposed to call me that Friday of the 13th,
Mm-hmm.
but he never did.
Mm-hmm.
I think I texted him that night because I went out that Friday, and I didn't get home until like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I texted him, I'm like, he's going through something. He
Mm-hmm.
expressed that to me.
Okay.
And when I got home, I kind of remember that night bits and pieces. I texted him like, "Hey, I'm so sorry that you're going through X, Y, and Z,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm here for you if you
Okay.
want to." And the next week, he did explain to me that mentally he's just not. He wasn't able to like. He's mentally he's kind of lost.
Okay. Okay.
I would say, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I called him that Friday before Christmas Eve,
Mm-hmm.
last month rather, and I was like, okay, this is my last attempt to call this dude.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't answer. Granted, it was like almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but you could have called back the next day.
You called him at 2 o'clock in the morning, or you text him.
No, called.
You called at 2 in the morning. Okay, that sounds like a booty call, Jacoby.
No, I was still outside. I was still at a bar.
And it was the weekend though, huh?
Yes, to your point, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Um, and it could have appeared that way. It can come across that way,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you could have called back
Yeah. Did you
later.
leave a voicemail message?
No, I didn't.
Okay, but saw the call log. Okay, so you called him then. Did he call you back? Did you send a text? Did you get a
No,
text from him?
no, nothing.
Nothing. That's nothing you heard from like on the app, Jack. Did you hear anything from him?
He's not even on Jack. I think he disabled his profile because there's an
Hmm.
option where you can just disable the profile. You still have an account,
Hmm.
but you just disabled the profile,
Okay.
and you're not seen by anybody.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Or he
So
could have.
I
I
said, well, go ahead. So I'm sorry.
was gonna say, or he could have blocked me, but I can only spec. I can. I'm just speculating.
Okay. He could have blocked you, or it could have. Do you feel like anything weird happened during the date or any your communication? Or did he just say, hey, just this, I'm not interested anymore?
Um, I I don't think so because between him leaving my house Saturday morning and that Friday of the 13th of December, um, we were kind of communicating daily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just I can't say.
Okay. So you're
And
not sure. Not sure.
no.
Okay.
So I don't have like sometimes I like to think that me being on certain journeys, especially in regards to my physical appearance, sometimes I like to check it up to that, but we actually had a brief conversation about his weight loss journey.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, he expressed to me, or at least to me, he was aware enough to know that gay men are critical of how we look
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
each other. And having gone through a similar journey,
Mm-hmm.
he was again self-aware enough to know that hey, you may have an issue with how you look, but I don't because I've been in a similar space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It could be because of my height. It could be because of my physical appearance. But again, I would never know unless
Mm-hmm.
he was to tell me.
Well, how tall are you, Jacoby?
I am between 5'8" and 5'9".
Okay, okay. You feel like he might not have appreciated your height?
That's a possibility.
Well, is your height listed on your Jack profile?
Yes.
Well, then he knew what he was signing up for before he even came over, friend. He already knew, right? Right, right.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, you gave me his telephone number. Are you open for us to give him a call and try and see like if we can get to the bottom of it and see like why things fizzled out?
Go right ahead.
All right, cool. Give me one quick second and I'll put you on speakerphone as I give him a call. Hopefully he will answer. Let's see. And I'll turn my volume up so you can hear. I got an Android. Let's see. Let's
Me
see.
too.
Let's call. Let's call.
Me too. So don't feel bad. I'm
No,
team
I
Andrew.
love my Android. Let's see. Okay, and you say his name is.
Correct.
All right. It's ringing. Can you hear it ringing?
Hmm.
It's still ringing.
Please leave your message for
Oh wait,
404.
I don't want to make. Okay, so I will send him a text message. I don't want to make. I don't want to put his telephone number on social media. That would be horrible. But I'll send
Exactly.
him a text message right now to see if he's free to talk. He's probably doesn't recognize the number, and we did not give him a heads up that we were going to call him. So he's probably thinking I'm a bill collector. Um,
Bill collectors.
right.
You better go get a job.
Let's see. Let's see. So I'll shoot him a quick text. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll see if he even responds. But if he does, great. If not, unfortunately, this is what happens sometimes where we say, I've been, you ever heard the term ghosted?
Yeah, I hate it, and I hate it more so when I do it too, because I don't
Ha-
like the energy to come back to me.
Have you ghosted somebody before?
Recently, we went on one date, and I hate that. I throw this out there because it's gonna make me seem hypocritical. But he was a Leo, and I'm a Taurus, and it don't work.
Oh, because of zodiac signs. Did you know that in advance?
So his profile says Leo, and I'm like, okay, is your name Leo or are you a Leo? Like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Turns out he is a Leo. I've had about four of them so far, and it does not.
Some people are like that with zodiac signs, where they're like they don't actually work.
So in the beginning of that particular date, he seemed like kind of like sweet and soft and whatever have you. And so like, I'm like, because most fire signs they're just too aggressive for me. I'm like, I don't like. Um, to that effect, um, I was able to recognize the love bombing. I'm like, oh, this is where your aggression manifests itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I was my thought process was, okay, this is not for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so he was paying me a lot of compliments about the little muscle that I was able to build between, I want to say, January of last year to the middle of that summer. We went to Lazy Dog. I don't know a soul there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a brief conversation surrounding a myriad of topics. none of which interest me, I'd say, because he was 26 and at the time I'm 33. And for me, I was able to pick up that, okay, you're lonely and you're trying to do something about that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
for me, especially having gone through therapy, it's okay when I live alone, so I'm not lonely to a point where I want to disrupt my peace and also
Right, right.
disrupt the feng shui that I've been able to create within the last decade of
Mhm.
living by myself. So he came to my house. He spent the night, still paying me all of these compliments, and we didn't do anything that particular night or
Hmm.
that night at all. Um, so when
Oh, wait, wait. He's giving me a call back. He's giving me a call back. Let's see. Okay.
all right,
Okay.
cool.
Hello, this is Lamont.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Is this
Yes.
Hey, thanks for giving me a call back. So again, my name is Lamont. I'm a dating coach called the Gay Dating Coach. I'm not sure if you've heard of me before.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have? What have you heard, Hakeem?
I want to know why you're calling first.
So I'm giving you a call because I'm working with this guy named Jacoby, and he mentioned that the two of you all went on a date a couple weeks ago, had a good time, talked a little bit afterwards, but things kind of like fizzled out, and you all weren't able to go on a second date. And I was trying to see if you're open to like giving like any feedback to Jacoby or just like kind of explaining why like things might have kind of fizzled out and didn't really go forward if you're open to that.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
my God. Um.
And I'm having a hard time hearing you a little bit. Let me see. I don't know if it's
Okay.
my volume.
Can you hear me now?
I say something again.
Is that better?
It is a little bit better. Thank you so much.
Okay. I thought he was a really, 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 really nice guy, and I still think that he's very nice.
So you think he's a nice guy? Yeah. Do you?
Yeah. I don't like how much he drinks. I think that's what kind of turned me off.
Okay. So you said there was how much he drank. Do you remember like how much alcohol he had, or was it like? I think he mentioned you all went to do two different bars.
Yeah, we went to two different bars, which that was fine. You know, we're doing that on like a date night.
Hmm.
That's I was okay with that.
Hmm.
But just in conversation, when I learned how much he actually goes out and like and things like that, and you know, to each his own.
Hmm.
But kind of raised the eyebrow for me a little bit. And he kind of scared me a little bit with how fast he was. I had kind of explained to him already that men have a habit of like wanting to like hurry up and get in a relationship with me because of how I look.
Okay.
I don't think those are his intentions. I just think that he really did like me, but I do think how aggressive he was about it. It kind of makes me back off a bit more because
Okay.
I do like him and I do want to continue it, but I do kind of feel like it was very aggressive and I just think had he maybe filled out a bit more, or been a little bit more laid back, it would kind of show a lot more interest. But I think that part just kind of made me run because it made me question his intentions a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Look, listen, thank you for sharing that. So I guess what I'm hearing is one is that like the amount of alcohol, that you hear that he might drink regularly or like the amount of time he goes out was a concern. And then the second thing I heard was that based on like how you look, you feel like guys really want to get into a relationship with you and move things fast. And you felt like Jacoby was like a little too, just maybe a tad bit too aggressive in trying to make it to a
Yeah, I
relationship.
want to let it flow a bit more.
You want to slow
And
down a little bit more.
Yeah, and we do differ in like our ways of like I look at things like if a man don't get up at the same time in the morning as I do, I look at things like that as a long term difference that I think will bother me. I normally don't date guys that sleep till 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's unattractive to me. To each his own.
Mhm.
But
You want him to wake
yeah,
up with you, not like sleep in the whole day.
I like an early bird. Like I like a guy who likes to get his whole entire day in,
Early
every
bird.
day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that might have been one thing that would have caused like a big issue between the two of us.
Okay. Okay. So I do have Jacoby here. I wanted to see if he wanted to like share, kind of explain anything, and kind of respond to you about like some of the things that he heard. Like you say, Jacoby, did you want to share anything?
Not really, because none of I don't that could have been communicated to me. I'm not sure what he meant by the alcohol I consumed, because for me, I was fine the next day in terms of what we consumed at between my house, bar number one, and bar number two. I was perfectly fine with the amount of alcohol I consumed. I would have appreciated had all of that being relayed over to me. Um, I'm not sure what you mean by the amount of times I go out, but that can be tossed up to any definition, I'd say. Um, Other than that, I really don't have any questions.
Okay.
Um, as far as me being aggressive, I don't know how that could have came across, because for me, I tried to take you to places where I felt comfortable, and so that you could see a part of me that you wouldn't get normally, or that no one really gets. But hey, thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how do you feel like there's like any hope for like another date, or do you feel like it's kind of like if the first date was all that was needed?
To be honest, he really got in a second date. My mom got really sick, and I think he was aware of that.
Mhm.
So that did kind of like cause us not to go out because I ended up going back home for a while.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So that did kind of cause a bit of a distance. Like I said, it's not that I did not like him. It had nothing to do with that. I just think just I don't know. I would give myself this. I do have a habit of maybe scaring myself out of situations with guys. Certain things I maybe just be a little bit too much into.
Hmm.
So definitely would have went out with him again just to kind of prove myself wrong on certain things, or just sit back and like see how he went. But I think he just got tired of waiting on me, which I don't blame him for.
Hmm.
But how things going on, I tend to kind of shut down, and I think that she noticed that. But he would have definitely gotten a second date if my mom did not get it.
Okay.
Um, he's a really sweet guy. He's not a bad guy, and I think my word aggression kind of. I don't feel like he was aggressive in his demeanor. I just thought the approach just
Mhm.
kind of scared me up. Anytime a guy does that with me, I get nervous. But I think that he did make his intentions clear that he did like it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and I think when you're dating somebody, you want the guy to let you make his intentions known that he likes you, and not like playing games with you. Um,
well,
yeah. Now, are you back in Atlanta? Like, are you open to dating? Like, where are you in the mental space to date?
I wouldn't mind going back out with him again, but I'm not in an open space right now
Mhm.
as far as like meeting openly. No, I kind of like took a break off that and
Okay.
stuff
So you
like
did
that.
take a break off of the dating app Jack right now. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want him to think I blocked him. I don't know if you can still hear me, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I did that.
So Jacob, he said he did not block you. He just took a break from from the dating app. But he did say like he would be open to maybe hanging out again with you and kind of seeing and clarifying some things.
Okay, sounds good.
So who's gonna make the first move to make the call for this hangout if it does happen?
Um, let me recant that because I would say I am open to dating and casually hanging out with people. I can do that at the places I took them to, if not
Mhm.
another bar that I hang out over in Dunwoody.
Mhm.
So casually hanging out with people, that's something I may not be up to. And the reason why is because being single for on and off for the last decade doesn't leave much mental space for gathering new friends to hang out. I have enough friends to hang out with, and for me, it's a I'll see you when I see you.
Right, right. Hakeem, could you respect that? Because I think you're more like, and you're open about you're not in the space of date. It would just be just friends, and he's really like,
Oh,
no, he
no,
wants to date.
I never said that. I said I was closed off to meeting anybody new. I wouldn't mind going on another date with him. But as far as meeting anybody, you asked me about open to dating, period. I wouldn't mind going on a date with him. But like anybody new, I'm not taking any new applications if you get what I'm saying.
Ah, okay. So you
I
would
think that I
be. Oh,
wanted to be friends. I just said I would be open to it just to maybe kill some of those thoughts in the back of my head.
okay. Thank you for clarifying that. So Jacoby, he's saying it wouldn't be on a friend vibe. It would be on a more date, but to clarify some of those thoughts that are in his head to see if to confirm those or say no, we can get past those and actually be open to going on further dates.
Sounds good.
Okay. This is why we need communication here. This is I like this. I like this. So, okay, who's gonna make the first move to actually call or text each other?
I believe I made all. So essentially,
Yeah.
basically, what he's saying, I was waiting on him. I didn't want to pressure to get his attention because he was dealing with something. And so
Mm-hmm.
out of respect, and also he's in a mind space where I have no advice.
Mm-hmm.
So the issue he's dealing with is something similar that my mom went through a couple years back. And so for me, I'm like, the only thing I can do is just be a listening ear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's ready to open up to me on that front. That's all I can do. So essentially, I was waiting on him to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, that was what I was doing up until this point. So it would have to be the ball is really in his court,
Okay.
if I want to say it like that.
Yeah. Can you respect that?
I mean, I kind of figured he would say that. In all fairness, he did continuously reach out to me. He checked on me, which I still to this day like really appreciate because men don't really see that much. I guess when you're just getting to know them,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of just step off until you get your shit together. But I'll definitely reach out to him today after I get off work, and maybe we can talk about it further. Um, but no, I respect him for saying that. The ball is kind of definitely in my court because I do feel like he did all that he could do to keep my attention. But to be honest, I thought that he just kind of lost interest. So when I did get back full time, I didn't bother reaching out to him because I didn't want to make him feel like I was trying to waste his time as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
It
He didn't
really
forget
had
about you.
nothing to do with lack of interest or anything. Like it had nothing to do with that. But I just know how the thing is with men, and I didn't want to set myself up to be like
Mm-hmm.
text him and he did that.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you said you're going to give him a call today, and then y'all can figure things out.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me interrupt your day. And thanks for giving me a call back. And I'm happy we were able to kind of clarify some of these things.
I appreciate you all calling, and it was nice to hear your voice.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day. Okay.
Because,
Okay. Bye bye. Oh my goodness,
Wow.
friend,
Yes.
that went well.
It did. Again, I think that when again, like in my opinion, he was just in a mind space where I may not have been a priority. I get that, but my question is, or is always going to be, am I somewhere in the mix?
Mm-hmm.
Because um, I we I feel like we did connect in regards to our backgrounds. So it was a where else do we connect?
Mm-hmm.
That was
Mm-hmm.
my question.
Yeah.
to that point right there, it was a you're dealing with this. I have no experience in it. I can't speak on it. All I can do is just be a listening ear. That was it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I did check on him. I again texted him like, "Hey, I am sorry that you're going through this," and that was pretty much it. Um,
Yeah.
so to that effect, I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll be back on standby." And
Listen.
if he doesn't reach out, cool. If he does, great. Then we can maybe start over. We can maybe try to move forward and try to calm the storm in his mind. And if he allows me,
Mhm.
I can be a shoulder to lean on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But at this moment, I made all the moves that I could. So now I guess it's checkmate.
Yes. So I will tell you, and this is why I wanted to do this show is because first dates and first like interactions when you're meeting a stranger can
Mhm.
always be awkward, and both of you communicate differently. So it's hard to really progress to the third, the fourth, fifth dates because you're total strangers and life happens. Like he said, something happened with his mother, distracted him, but he wanted to reach back out, but he thought if he reached back out because of the time that
Mhm.
has, went kept going on, that you might reject him or feel like you're wasting his time. Also, there were like two things that he mentioned about like the interaction, and I want you to make sure you heard those. One, he has a concern about the amount of alcohol you drink. Whether it's true or not, that's something the two of you should talk about on your next date. And
Mhm.
then also the way that you approach him. You might want to have to ask him, how does he want to be approached? How does he want to be pursued? Like, what makes him feel special, unique, that is different from other guys?
Mhm.
Right? So that's your homework when you go on a date with him. Okay?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, following your advice, I do try when scheduling the second or third date. It's hard to make an argument where someone makes me uncomfortable or I don't feel safe around them. It's hard to get to that state of being comfortable with someone when you've only had the first date. It's like a job interview. You don't know how you're going to work well with others until
Mhm.
after they've hired you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So yeah, your second date then, Jacoby, should not be a dinner date. Do something active. Go axe throwing, bowling, indoor ice skating. That's going to help with the nervousness that both of you have. It's also going to be fun. It's going to create a good memory, good times for both of you. Okay?
oh,
No, 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 nothing that involves alcohol.
all right, I can do that. I'm not even drinking this month, so that
Right.
I
So
can do.
axe throwing, ice skating, do something fun. Show him a different side of you.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for being my first guest. I want to hear an update. Um, and, I wish both of you all luck.
All right, me too.
All right. I'm going to put you backstage so I can say goodbye to these people. Okay. All right. Listen, you all, this is Dating Dilemma with Lamont White, the gay dating coach. If you want to be a guest, if you're like, hey, Lamont, I went on a first date and I want to give you an update, go ahead and shoot me an email. My email address is lamont@betterwaytomeet.com. I would love to hear about your first date and see how things either were awkward or if they were amazing dates. I want to hear about it. Yeah, shoot me an email and then look forward to more episodes on Dating Dilemma with Lamont White, and we'll see how it goes. All right, people. Goodbye.